Alright, here we go. Another day on the Camaro. Uh, got the engine out yesterday. Got the clutch, well, no, I mean, the clutch is, here. You know, uh, Put the engine on the engine stand tonight, and I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised here. Here it is, all torn down. Got my shitty exhaust manifolds and whatnot. Uh, the guy who had before me, wasn't really sure of the mileage on the car. He told me, he thinks that it's 106,000. And I'm kind of looking at the car. It's 100 degrees out here, no joke. And I told him, well, I didn't tell him anything. But, I looked at the car and I said, I don't know. I have my suspicions that this car really has 6,000. Give me 1 second. Stupid crotch rockets. But anyway, needless to say, well, let's just take a look for ourselves and see what we think here. Because, I am pretty sure that I am not wrong here. Why did my light turn off? Alright. Well, that's cool. Great. Good timing. Alright, let's see. Just use my flashlight on my phone. We still have cross-hatching in the cylinders. These are original AC Delco plugs. That are in this engine as well. This thing is in very good condition. I'm not much of a 305 fan, but let me tell you something. When the cylinders come out looking like this, absolutely no ridge. I mean, that speaks volumes to me. Take a look at these heads. Usually I pull these heads off. And usually the combustion chamber is about the worst thing I've ever seen. More than likely than not, the oil control rings are shot. The valve stem seals are shot. And there's just oil inundated in the cylinders constantly. Usually that's the case, And if it's not that, especially on carbureted engines, it's usually just a shit mess of mistunes and broken vacuum lines and just garbaged everything, that just fucking totally just womp the cylinders. These look fucking very nice. This is about the nicest, and oldest set of heads that I've ever taken off of an engine. AC Delco plugs, granted, okay, fine, anybody would probably tell me they could have been replaced at any point. Then whatever. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Doesn't really make a difference to me. What does matter to me is that, these major components are in seriously nice shape. 416 heads, which I look up and it seems like they're not the worst. They're not the best. They're not HO heads, They kind of seem like they're kind of like the 882 heads, if anybody's familiar with small block Chevys. They're just kind of like in the middle. They can, they're not going to hurt your performance. They're not going to be the best bang for your buck. But, if you got them and you're not looking for, every fucking last horsepower, it's worth running. They're worth running. So, here they are. Here's the other set heads. Everything looks pretty clean. It looks like they've had the valve cover off before it sludged shit all over one of the rocker arms. But, other than that, the ports and everything are very nice. I don't know, I have to say, I'm definitely pleased with what I see. I would have went with, something even worse. I mean, I would have taken a little bit of wear, no ridge. I would have said, the hell with it. Fuck it, let's just go with it. I mean, I could still see the rings on these pistons. They're not burned, they're not, there's no crust, there's no carbon. Now, I blew it out with an air gun, but that was about it. These cylinders are just in phenomenal shape. I mean, I just, you can even see the lifter. Well, let's see, let's pull the lifter out. What the hell? Why not? Whew. Look at that, it pops right out. That never happens. Usually I have to grab these with pliers. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can still see hatching all over it. Hatching all over the bore, the lifter bore. Oh, I can even get a peek at the cam in there. And that doesn't look all bronzed and worn out. The cam gear, our distributor gear doesn't look all bronzed and worn out. I'm telling you, that's it. 6,900 original miles, you know, it shows. I didn't even know if I show you the flywheel. You know, that's not too bad. You know, mine was, in my 89 was all blued up. Usually, again, you know, you take those out, they're all fucking clutch dumped out, and they just clutch slap and clutch slap and clutch slap and, you know, let it chatter. But this doesn't seem to be the case. You know, the clutch on the engine is original. You know, it just looks good. I'm just happy with what I see. You know, let's hit this thing with some nitrous. That's what I'm thinking. Hit it with some nitrous. Call those cast manifolds a goner. You know, I'll post all this stuff up. You know, I don't know. Some people are lunatics, and you know, they're into restoring, and you know what I mean. I appreciate that stuff. I respect that stuff. That's cool. But you know, I'll post it up and see. You know, I'll pretty much give this stuff away. Hell, maybe I will give it away. Maybe I'll put it up for free. They could take the fuel injection manifold and a bunch of other stuff too. Taking some pile of Mopar stuff. You know, I don't really have a use for any of that. You know, like a Mopar, I got a whole end. I got two 360 Mopar engines in that crate. You know, I got valve coverage, and I just, you know, that you know, got a Ford 8.8 rear over here. It's all worked to death. I mean, I just, you know, I don't, stuff I really just trip over. I mean, this garage is a disaster. It drives me insane. It really does. It probably drives you guys crazy too, but hey, you don't have to work in it. I do. But it is my mess. But yeah, I mean, so that's the update tonight. You know, it looks like this engine is a winner. This is a real winner. You know, I swapped in a 350 out of a Cadillac that had, what did that have on it? 40,000 miles? Yeah, the whole car was just like rotted out. They found it in a barn. And I pulled the engine out of it. You know, it was a roller 350, and it didn't look this nice. It was pretty damn nice, but I mean, it was you know, it was showing 40,000. You know, you know, I saw the plug change. You know what I mean? I saw these things. You know, I saw the things that were replaced. You know, taking this engine apart, every hose, every wire is GM marked, and you know, it's just like in its factory, you know, place, and strapped down correctly, and you know, all these things that you just don't do with a small block Chevy. You know, it's like you know, things that I probably broke, you know, half of them taking this thing apart, you know, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I'm just so pleasantly surprised here. I'm definitely interested in you know, I'm gonna throw some head gaskets and a top end gasket kit on it. Put the fucking heads back on. You know, I'll probably roll some, you know, roller valve train. You know, I got rocker arms floating around here somewhere, 1.6s or 1.5 steel. Yeah, I have 1.5 steel tip rollers, and I have some aluminum 1.6s floating around. So, you know, maybe I'll throw some aluminum 1.6s or whatever I can find. It really doesn't make a difference. You know, just to keep some heat off the valve train, because, well, let's be real here. I think you know, this engine's gonna be tried. You know, and you know, I'd be happy if it lived a decent life, but hey, you know what? I'm rolling my dice with my luck here, and you know, I got a pretty fresh engine, and I'm just gonna consider that, you know, a fresh engine, and it is what it is. You know, there's no originality in this car really anyway. I'm not putting it back together as a restoration. It doesn't make a difference. You know, so I could just be happy for it to be fresh, and if it, you know, hell, if, you know, you never know, I might last one pass, and I might, you know, overload it and melt pistons down to the crankcase. You don't know. You don't never know what happens. You just gotta expect, you know, prepare for anything. But right now, I've got a lot of high hopes, and you know, if you can't tell by the smile on my face, I'm impressed with it. I'm impressed with it. So, we'll see what this old girl's got. 305. You got me. You got me. All right. Well, that's all I got for tonight. Hope you enjoyed watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. All right. Have a good night.